So at one point, the doctor put them both into Loyola Hospital, which is one of the best hospitals. It's a big hospital, to find out what was wrong with them. And at that point, their mom Lisa started to get drilled by a lot of doctors, nurses, and counselors. They would tell her that she was too young to have children.
I don't believe it at all. If anything, they were encouraging her to put the babies up for adoption because they were being neglected. Hold on.
She was a teenage mom. She couldn't handle two babies at one time. She should give them up for adoption. And we didn't realize that what they were doing was an adoption behind our backs.
Also going to stop you there, because no, that doesn't happen. A hospital cannot just start adoption proceedings on two babies, one baby, 5 babies, without consent, unless they are being removed due to child endangerment. Okay?
When you have babies in the hospital, the state actually has authority to keep your children.
Correct. If they're showing signs of abuse.
So if they can find a reason to keep them, they did. So they actually said the girls were what they call emotional failure to thrive.
You know what causes that? Neglect causes that. Neglect and detachment from your children cause that.
Which was absolutely outrageous. So the first thing they did was they stopped us being able to hold them.
Again, because there were signs of abuse. They also wanted to make sure that the reason the babies weren't sick is because of something that you or the parent was doing.
To take them out into on the wagon and go up and down the hospital aisles. We no longer could feed them.
That's their job. When they suspect abuse or neglect, that's the job, is to figure out where the cause is.
They were giving them formula without dilution. They started to get eczema, and the eczema started to crack open all their skin.
Or was their skin already cracked when you took them to the hospital from neglect? And maybe that's why their skin looked like that and the doctors were concerned. I don't know. Tell me.
At this point in time, I knew that they were getting ready to take custody of the girls.
Which, I'm sorry, should have opened your eyes to not try to figure out how to get away with it, but figure out how to fucking fix it.
So my husband and myself kidnapped the girls out of the hospital.
Hold on. Did I just hear you right? You just said that you kidnapped your 8-month-old grandchildren? Since 1999, I have worked almost extensively in the hospital and inpatient, and 4 of those years were spent in the NICU. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. It just, no, none of it. I like to read, so I went ahead and researched about this hospital, and that incident happened in 2000, and they hadn't had a baby stolen for 31 years prior to that. Those dates aren't adding up, girlfriend. So I'm going to have to say that's a lie. Maybe that's where Gabi's getting this shit from.
And by the time we got to our house, DCFS was there along with lawyers.
So I'm trying to figure this out. So did each of you have one of them under your coat? Or just one of you had both of them, the other one got the door, and then you just ran out to the car and threw them in there and rushed home, but DCF already beat you to your house along with the lawyers? My God.
After DCFS interviewed my children and looked at my home and saw how everything was run, the one lawyer said, we honestly cannot take these girls because we have never seen a home cleaner, better kept, and the girls more loved than I see right now.
What a day. I can't imagine kidnapping just not 1 but 2 babies, rushing home, meeting up with lawyers and kids getting interviewed, and then almost like a marquee sign, they announce what a clean and loving house this is. I mean, That's pretty friggin' cool that they can go right after you kidnap two babies and determine within moments that your house is the cleanest, the safest, and the best place for these babies to be.
And they said, I might lose my job, but we can't take the girls. So a pediatric, it was a doctor that was in the American Pediatric Society that stepped up and took our case.
So not only is your lawyer like, oh my God, I could lose my job, my career, it's worth it. This house is so clean that it's worth me losing my job over. And then this massive doctor stepping up and saying, I'm taking this case. You gotta see how nutty this sounds, right?
And the reality is, they were, if we had not kidnapped them, they would have been given to an adoption agency where parents, this one couple was waiting to take them. At that point, Lisa gave up.
No, Lisa gave up the moment she brought those babies home from the hospital. Lisa gave up when those babies were emotionally scarred. Lisa gave up long before those babies were ever put in the hospital. And I believe that they were neglected. I believe that they weren't cared for, and you had 5 kids of your own.
That it was too much for her, and she left. She asked us to keep the babies, and she left and kind of lived down the street for a while.